Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Lana and I have a little girl called Daisy who is 20 months and I am currently pregnant with my second baby and we are now full term, so that is so exciting. I can't believe I've actually made it. It feels like it's taken ages, but then also at the same time it feels like it's gone really quickly. So I thought I would jump on here today to share with you guys the kind of latest update now that we're full term. I feel like lots has happened in the last couple of weeks and definitely lots has happened since I filmed my third trimester like update video. So if you haven't seen that, then definitely check that out. And then yeah, today I'm going to share with you what's new and potentially what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. Let me get straight into the video. So first things first is I'm going to show you my bump. So this is how I'm looking at the moment. I feel like I've really dropped so much since the last video, and obviously I've gotten so much bigger as well. So this is how baby boy is sitting at the moment. So yeah, I'm feeling absolutely ginormous and very big for 37 weeks and very low. So yeah, as you can see, I am so big, or I just feel so big, and it's just becoming so difficult just to get on with day-to-day things, get on with daily life, look after Daisy especially. Honestly, like, I didn't think it would be this hard looking after a toddler and being so heavily pregnant. Obviously, I know it's just gonna get harder when there's actually a newborn and a toddler to look after, but I feel like I'm just really looking forward to getting my body back now. I feel like at the moment, you know, if Daisy just falls over and hurts herself, I can't just run there and pick her up and cuddle her like I normally would. It takes me a while to get up off of my chair or waddle over to her as quickly as I can. It's really hard. And then obviously picking her up and cuddling her, I can't do that how I normally would. Obviously I do my best, but it's really hard, and yeah, I kind of just can't believe how difficult that actually is. So yeah, I'll kind of stick with like how I'm feeling at the moment, and then I'll tell you guys sort of the update of what's been happening over the last couple of weeks and what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks in terms of scans and possible inductions and things like that. So I'll just start off with symptoms and kind of how I feel now I'm full term. So obviously, like I just mentioned, I just feel enormous. My bump is just getting in the way of everything, day-to-day life. I keep hitting it on stuff, so like I'll whack it on the back of a dining room chair, or I'll open the fridge out onto it and I'm like, oh my gosh, keep forgetting it's there, but then also at the same time you can't forget it's there because it's so heavy, it's so big. That's definitely kind of the main one. Just I feel really uncomfortable with my size and just looking after Daisy and day-to-day life. Also, I'm sleeping really badly. I don't think I've slept great this whole pregnancy. Like, each night is a bit of a lottery, like will I sleep well, will I not? But definitely at the moment I'm not sleeping great. I'm waking up really hot, I'm waking up with night sweats, I need to go to the toilet all the time, and then it's time to wake up because it's 6:30, 7 o'clock or whatever, and Daisy's awake. So yeah, my nights are really difficult at the moment. I also have a pain like right at the top of my bump, and I've spoken to the consultants about it, I've spoken to the midwives about it. No one seems particularly worried. They're all telling me that it's muscular and it should go away when the baby's born, and so long as the baby is moving and, you know, I'm not worried about anything like that, then it's kind of fine. I think it's literally, I kind of describe it in my mind as like a bowling ball in a sock. So I feel like the sock is my tummy and then the baby is like a bowling ball and he's pushing so heavily kind of out, and then I've got this like thin layer of muscle and skin, which is how it feels, that's just getting really bruised, and that's what it feels like. This pain at the top of my bump is just like a big bruise. And then I've obviously got Daisy who's climbing on me and it's getting kind of pushed from the other end, and so I feel like I'm just really getting, yeah, like pushed and pulled from both ways. And that's what the pain is basically. So it's nothing too bad, I can manage, but it's just not very nice. I guess this is kind of a trivial one, but I'm really getting sick of having nothing to wear. I did mention that in my previous video, but it's just gotten worse. Like, my body is just savage, and honestly, like, even maternity clothes seem to not fit anymore. This and another black top is literally the only two tops I have. I've been wearing Matt's clothes, it's been a joke. All my leggings have ripped. I mean, I know I've put on weight, but I've literally ripped through like 3 pairs of leggings. and I'm just refused to buy more. I'm like, no, I'll just wait until after he's born. So I'm really hoping that he won't stay in for weeks and weeks more, because I have absolutely no clothes. Nothing does up, like it's freezing outside at the moment, and I don't have any coats that do up, and it's just starting to really get on my nerves. So that's definitely something that's really annoying me. Also, I have found that my appetite has massively increased. So for lunch today, for example, I had a huge tuna baguette, tuna sweet corn mayo baguette. I had a packet of salt and vinegar crisps. I had 2 custard creams and a Freddo, and I've gone on since to have a small, like, you know, those little easy peeler oranges, some strawberries and some grapes. And honestly, I could still eat now. It's mad, and I'm trying not to go too mad, because another thing that I've started to get is stretch marks. I didn't get any with Daisy, and I have only got tiny ones with this baby, but I'm really conscious not to go too mad with the food, because I know obviously I'm going to gain weight with the baby, and stretch marks are probably inevitable, especially being this big, but I don't want to gain tons of extra weight that I don't really need to. So yeah, I'm just trying to be a little bit conscious about that now. So something I got with Daisy that I haven't got with this baby is sickness. I got really bad sickness in my first pregnancy right at the start, and then it went away. But then as I got bigger and bigger and I got into the 3rd trimester, and especially when I was full term, I was sick quite a lot, whereas I don't feel like that at all in this pregnancy. I don't know whether it's a boy thing, or I don't know, or whether it's just that my body's used to being pregnant again, I don't know. But that's nice, that's a relief. I've kind of just been waiting for that to hit, but it hasn't so far, so fingers crossed for me. Another symptom I have been suffering with is fatigue. I have been really tired, and a couple of weeks ago I would have described it as exhaustion. Honestly, I was just absolutely floored, and the thought of even just taking Daisy for a walk in her pushchair around the park, I just was like, oh no, I can't do it, I'm so tired. So I spoke to the midwife, and she took some bloods from me, and the bloods came back that I had low iron and that I was actually anemic. So they've put me onto some iron tablets, and I've been taking those now for 2.5, 3 weeks, and I definitely feel a difference. I'm still really tired, and like I said, I haven't been sleeping very well, so that definitely doesn't help either. But the iron tablets have, I think, made a bit of a difference. I have got a little bit more motivation about me and a bit of energy, and I'm glad that I spoke to the midwife about it and she picked up on it, because obviously if I'm really close to giving birth and I have low iron levels and I'm anemic, then obviously blood loss during labour is a bit more dangerous, and then recovery afterwards is going to be harder as well. So yeah, we're getting that sorted, and I've got another blood test at 38 weeks to see where the levels are, so I'm hoping they'll be a bit better. The symptoms that I noticed was obviously just the exhaustion, but then also I said to the midwife that I just felt really out of breath all the time, and even if I was just sat on the sofa watching an hour's film or something, I would just be sitting there like and it was so weird, and I would feel like my heart would be racing. And they did take my heart rate in the appointment that I sort of went in and first complained about the symptoms, and she said that yeah, it was increased, and that can be a sign of low iron, and hence why they did all the bloods and stuff. So yeah, I'm really glad I got that all checked out. So if you have any of those symptoms, then definitely speak to your doctor or your midwife about it. I guess that kind of leads me on to what I want to talk about next, which is what's been going on with the doctors and midwives and scans and all of that. So since I last did an update, I have been in obviously to see my midwife. She's taken some measurements of my belly, and the measurements that she's taken have indicated that my bump and my baby is extra large. So they basically, in the UK, I'm not sure what it's like in other countries, but you get a growth chart. So it's like a bar chart like this, and it kind of has like a wave like curve. And when you get measured at your appointments, they plot your bump on this curve, and if you have a scan then they'll also plot the scan on the curve as well, and basically along one side it says how many weeks you are, and along the other side it says how many centimeters or how large like the baby is. Basically, when I was around 35 weeks, they measured my belly. They said it's really big, it's off the chart, and you're measuring like really far ahead. So they sent me for a growth scan, and this was when I was 35 weeks and 2 days pregnant. So I went for my growth scan and they measured baby boy and they said, yep, he's really big. The measurement on your tummy was right. So actually the measurement on my tummy was off the scale, but then when they measured baby, he was even higher off the scale. So it was all a little bit worrying. And they told me that at 35 weeks and 2 days, he was measuring as a predicted kind of weight, 7 pounds 3 ounces at that moment in time. So I know it's only a predicted weight, and I did speak to the consultant and she said that scans at that kind of gestation, they have a 20% inaccuracy, if that makes sense. So it could be 20% bigger or it could be 20% smaller, but that is like the average predicted weight for that moment in time. So basically I got told I needed to wait at the hospital and speak to the consultant and make a bit of a plan as to what to do from then on in, because baby's obviously measuring really big and their concerns were that he could get stuck during delivery and that I might need assistance. They kind of talked about induction, which did worry me a little bit. So I waited, I spoke to the consultant. I said to her, I'm not really sure how I feel about induction. I kind of want to see how I go over the next couple of weeks. Obviously they wouldn't do anything until you were full term anyway. So I spoke to another consultant in my 36th week of pregnancy, so last week. He booked me in for another scan on Thursday, so this week I have another growth scan, and it will be that growth scan that indicates kind of what happens here on in. So basically, if my baby stays kind of off the chart and he's measuring even larger and we're looking at a 9-10 pound baby, they are going to encourage me to opt for an induction to get him out before he gets so big that I might have trouble giving birth to him. They basically said if we're happier with the estimated weight, then we won't have to do anything and you can obviously just wait and go into labour naturally. So it will be very interesting to see what happens on Thursday, and I will obviously do another update if things kind of don't happen around that time. And yeah, I'll be 37 weeks and 2 days pregnant at the time of that scan, so we will see what happens. So I guess that now leads us on to my thoughts about induction versus natural labour. So I really want a natural labour, no interventions, no sweeps, no breaking of my waters, no stays kind of on antenatal ward. I just want to go into labour naturally and then go to the hospital when, you know, I feel like I need to. I had a sweep with Daisy and that literally sent me into labour within 30 minutes. I got home from my appointment and I was in labour, which sounds great, but in that process she turned back to back, so I think the sweep kind of bothered her a bit, so she turned back to back. So I had a back-to-back labour with Daisy, and also when Daisy was born she came out with her hand up like this. So I mean, I don't know if the sweep changed her position kind of that drastically or whether she was always going to come out like that, I don't know, but it's kind of frightened me a little bit. So I really want to avoid anything like that this time. I know obviously every baby's different, every labour's different, but yeah, I want to avoid it. So if I can just go into labour naturally with this little boy, or this big boy, and just give birth to him without any interventions like prior to labour, I will be so happy, and that's really what I want to achieve. But obviously I know that I have to listen to the doctors, I have to be sensible, I have to think about my health and baby boy's health, and obviously that comes first. So we will just have to see what happens on Thursday, what they say at the scan, and we will just have to go from there. I'm really hoping that this baby will just come early on his own, because he is so low. At my midwife appointments, the midwife who was feeling my tummy, like when you go for your appointments they examine your belly and they press and prod and they feel exactly where baby's lying and how engaged baby is. she said to me that my baby's head is so far engaged that they don't normally feel heads that engaged unless the woman is in labour, and he's been like that for 3 weeks. She said to me, I don't know how you're walking around like that, and it feels like it. Like, it feels like his head is so low. It's a really weird feeling. I feel like he could come early. I feel really low. I do feel big. I know he's a big baby. We'll just have to see, but I really hope he just comes on his own, and then it takes the whole question mark induction out of the picture and we won't have to make any sort of decisions. But I'm not sure that will happen, so we'll just have to see. Anyway, my hospital bag is packed. If you haven't seen my last video, which is what I've packed in my hospital bag video, then check it out. So I've packed my hospital bag. I have made arrangements for what's going to happen with Daisy if I go into labour or if I need an induction, and I feel organised to a point. The only thing is that we are still moving house, so I think it's difficult to say exactly because we're still waiting on completion dates from our developer, but I think our moving in date is going to be somewhere around when I'm 39 to 40 weeks pregnant. So we're cutting it very, very fine. I actually think that our baby will be here by the time we move. So another thing that we've done to prepare now is we've set up our next to me crib, and we've set up our little nappy caddy with all the things that I'm going to need for baby when he's here. I've set up a little box with some newborn clothes because everything else is packed and everything else pretty much is ready to go to the new house. But obviously if he's born before we move, then I'm going to need some stuff available to me here at this house that I can use. So yeah, and I feel a lot better now the next to me crib's up as well. So everything at the moment for us is a little bit up in the air. I haven't been able to nest properly and it feels a bit weird, but I am really excited. I can't wait for my scan on Thursday. I'm a little bit nervous, but I just want to see him again. We had an amazing scan at my 35-week appointment, and we got some amazing photos of him. These are our pictures, and you can see baby boy's face really clearly. There's his nose and his little face, and this is really funny. This is a photo confirming that he's a boy. So yeah, we got some amazing pictures last time, so I'm just really looking forward to going and seeing him and, you know, making sure that he's okay, making a bit of a plan, and then I will be back to update you guys, hopefully, if baby boy doesn't decide to come before. And yeah, it's just mad how close it is now, and I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to get my body back and get out of these clothes that I've just been wearing for months. Yeah, get into our new house, and everything is just going to be really crazy, really stressful. I'm under no illusions, but it's going to be amazing as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!